Howdy everyone, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this December 20th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, and please hit the like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. I sure do appreciate it. So we're moving on in the book of James. We're going to go to chapter 2 today in James, and we're going to talk about loving all people. Not just those that we care about, but loving all people. Let's go to James 2 and start in verse 1. My dear brothers and sisters, you are believers in our glorious Lord Jesus Christ. So don't treat some people better than others. Suppose someone comes into your meeting wearing very nice clothes and a gold ring. At the same time, a poor person comes in wearing old, dirty clothes. You show special attention to the person wearing nice clothes. You say, "Sit here in this good seat." But you say to the poor person, "Stand there," or "Sit on the floor by our feet." Doesn't this show that you think some people are more important than others? You set yourselves up as judges who make bad decisions. Listen, my dear brothers and sisters. God chose the poor people in the world to be rich in faith. He chose them to receive the kingdom God promised to those who love him. But you show no respect to those who are poor. And you know that the rich are the ones who always try to control your lives. And they are the ones who take you to court. And the rich are the ones who insult the wonderful name of Christ, the name by which you are known. One law rules over all other laws. This royal law is found in the scriptures. Love your neighbor the same as you love yourself. If you obey this law, you are doing right. But if you are treating one person as more important than another, you are sinning. You are guilty of breaking God's law. You might follow all of God's law, but if you fail to obey only one command, you are guilty of breaking all the commands in the law. God said, "Don't commit adultery." That same God also said, "Don't kill." So if you don't commit adultery, but you kill someone, you are guilty of breaking all of God's law. You will be judged by the law that makes people free. You should remember this in everything you say and do. Yes, you must show mercy to others. If you do not show mercy, then God will not show mercy to you when he judges you. But the one who shows mercy can stand without fear before the judge. All right, so James takes kind of a slightly different tact here when talking about loving people, and he really uses the idea of how we treat different kinds of people. And in the context of what he's talking about here, where he's addressing mainly Jerusalem and the Jews at large, you have the upper crust of Jewish society, like think of the Pharisees and the super religious and the super wealthy ones. They are often the ones who are, they have the best seats in the synagogue. The priests give them special attention. People, they have the respect and adoration of everyone around them. But then the ones that are, left by the wayside, the ones that have very little or nothing, they're treated with contempt and just forgotten, right? And that's not the way it's supposed to work. We're supposed to treat everyone, rich and poor, black or white, male, female, whatever. We're supposed to treat everyone the same way. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. And it doesn't matter who it is, everyone is your neighbor. The rich person is your neighbor. The poor person is your neighbor. The black person is your neighbor. The white person is your neighbor. The man, the woman, whoever is your neighbor. And you are to love them like you love yourself. And then he transitions there and ends the section with, remember that if you do not obey this law, this love your neighbor law, you're guilty of breaking God's law. And it's not just breaking one law, but it's breaking all the law. Okay? Remember that with God, it is all or nothing when it comes to obedience in the law, right? He's, if If you say you don't commit adultery, but then you go and murder someone, you're guilty of both. And then everything else that is included in God's law, it's all or nothing. Now, you might be thinking, well, then it's impossible. You're right. It is impossible. We can't keep the law. That's why it's meaningless. Okay? That's not licensed to break the law. Okay? Remember that. That's not licensed just to do whatever you want. But we should not be spending our lives trying to obey a law that we cannot keep fully. It is impossible. Only Christ did. And he paid the price for us as a result. Okay? He paid the price for our disobedience so that we would still be saved from that judgment. Because if he hadn't, then we would be standing before God when our time comes, and he would judge us guilty, 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 guilty. And you don't want to know what happens if you're found guilty of breaking God's law. So be thankful that you don't have to know that. Or at least I hope you don't. Okay, well, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.